In this video, exciting news. I have purchased a new car and it's about to appear. Woo. And here we go. We've got a little welcoming committee here to welcome the latest victim to the Hubnut fleet. It is an Oltcit. It has travelled here from the field of dreams. It is the Romanian built Citroen design for the Visa that they decided they couldn't make, so they shipped it off to Romania because Peugeot said no. It was originally a Hungarian car. It's had a small fire at some point, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this project started. What is it gonna need? You can see the bonnet shows memories of the fire. So yeah, 3 years ago that was. What's it gonna need? She's rolling. Yeah. Yeah, I just need to expect a little. This is looking a fair bit worse than I thought. There's a huge hole there. That bonnet hinge is just ripped out because it's seized, as well as all the fire damage. Pull the dipstick out. There's all manner of crud and nastiness on that, so that's not great. So yeah, I have a feeling that rather than jumping the queue ahead of the Yugo Sana here, this one is going to be parts only by the look of it. It is a proper mess. Still, it's a very interesting proper mess. Right, I have the starting handle. Place bets now. Taking out a gear might help. That could give a false negative there. Will this engine actually turn? No. So the fuel filter has melted in the fire. So this really was very close to complete catastrophe. As it is, it's just under bonnet catastrophe. But yeah, it's very badly rotten. There, that's quite rotten. It's quite rotten here. The heater motor has melted. But in terms of engineering, it's mostly Citroen GS at this point. We've got a flat 4 engine from a GSA, but this one appears to be slightly toast. The cowling's even started rusting through. Whoa! This is what fire does. It really weakens the metal. Same gearbox but with a different final drive because it's got smaller wheels. Like I said, a steering rack there. That's probably ruined as well. But conventional brakes. We've got no crazy Citroen hydraulics going on. But inside, the car is very good, so that suggests it might make a decent parts motor. Absolutely crazy Citroen dashboard. Fascinating project, if a ruined one. Let's take you over to the driver's side if we can unlock the door. How do we do that? That switch there. There we go, that's now unlocked, I think. No, that still doesn't want to open. There we go. The doors are just a bit stiff. But yeah, taking the wacky world of the dashboard, all the buttons arranged here in the middle, and very much inspired by other Citroens, but this is the craziest evolution, really. We've got indicators right, bizarrely, I think. Oh no, indicators over there, along with the wiper controls and the washer operated on the bottom, and then over here we've got lights variously, main beam flasher, and the switch to go between main beam and dip beam. I'll put it back into gear again, I think. Stubby, very similar to the GSA gearbox, unsurprisingly. Fairly conventional heater controls. We've got the man with a hat and the lovely shoes. So yeah, a fascinating cast-off Citroen design. So the Oltcit, this is what the Citroen Visa was meant to be, but Peugeot said no, this is too crazy with its torsion bar suspension, flat 4 engines. I think you could get the flat 2 in some of them as well. So Peugeot said no, you are not to build that car. And what happened is Romania was looking to build its motor industry. It already had Dacia, and it approached Citroen. Citroen said, oh yeah, we've got a design. So they shipped the design off to Romania, and it was built in the town of Craiova, I think. A town me and Rich remember mostly for many ladies of the night. A lot of truck traffic, I think that's probably why. And that's how the Oltcits came to be. And I'm not sure of the production years. I will put them somewhere hereabouts once I've actually remembered what they are. But yeah, very interesting 3-door hatchback, and you can kind of see the Visa origins. Yeah, the Visa much more Peugeot under the skin than this crazy Citroen design. So this is the last pure Citroen design that reached production. So we've got no hydraulic suspension going on with the Oltcit. You've got good old torsion bars. So let's see if we can have a look at those. Bear with me while I clamber down upon the ground. And there are the torsion bars for the front. And sadly, also some galloping rot. This definitely isn't going down as one of my better acquisitions. Pleasingly, this car has cost me no money at all to buy. Well, that's actually quite solid. Yeah, not bad. But I have had to pay to get it over here. But we were hoping it was going to be restorable, but the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking perhaps not. It is not in a great shape, unfortunately. Okay, whoa. I think we can stop with the wallowing in self-pity for just a moment. I think, I've recorded my initial reaction because it is my initial reaction. I've known this car a great many years, but like I say, it's been at the Field of Dreams for the past couple of years after a rather nasty underbonnet fire, one which could have been an awful lot worse. We think what happens is one of the brakes was binding to the point the cardboard heater tubes caught fire. Citroen, in their infinite wisdom, thought that cardboard was a good material to have in an engine bay. 2CVs can also do it, where the pipes actually pop off and actually just land on the hot exhaust and catch fire, which is generally considered undesirable. That's why extra clips and cable ties are a very good idea. So, I mean, Citroens aren't generally renowned for having that sort of a failure on brakes. I don't know if these use an aluminium or an alloy piston. The 2CV and the GSA certainly do, so seizing calipers not generally a thing, but it's a cheaper car. Perhaps they use General Steel, perhaps that is what happened. It seems to roll now, but I understand the front pads have been removed entirely. And the rot is an issue because obviously the fire destroyed the paint, so where the paint's been removed, rot has wreaked its merry havoc. But let's look at the positives here. I mean, I own now an Oltcit, an extremely rare car in the UK. They were sold in some Western European countries as the Axel. France and the Netherlands, I think, had sales of them. So they are out there, but they're not common because they were dirt cheap bangers, very much bottom of the range. Well, in theory, it's possible to go and get another one, a better one, somewhere else in Europe. There's going to be costs associated with that, not just the purchase price, but the going and getting as well. and no guarantees it'll actually be a decent motor anyway. So having slept on it a bit more and had time to sort of process it a bit more, I think my main disappointment was I was kind of hoping it'd be a quick and easy, at least get running. Just, you know, get some fuel in the engine, maybe we could get her to run, even if we had to make our own wiring loom to enable it. But unfortunately the engine is entirely seized, it would seem like. It could be the clutch mechanism is all melted in the fire. I don't know what's causing that seizure, but there's a lot of muck down the dipstick, so it could be there's a lot of contamination actually inside the engine. I don't know what's going on. But like I say, it's a GSA engine, so parts are available. Spare engines are available because sadly GSA's rot and engines don't tend to explode all that often. So I think there's more engines than there are GSAs these days. So hopefully we can find a solution. And the steering rack is annoying, but again, hopefully we can find those parts. The welding, there's quite a lot of welding on this. That is currently beyond my means. My thinking was with the Yugo, because I'm a lucky person who owns an Oltcit and a Yugo Sana, or Florida to some of you. My plan was to teach myself welding on this because this has got some rot in the sills. This has got some fairly easy rot. This is a lot more challenging on the Oltcit, I think, in terms of location and lack of available repair panels. But that's not to say it's impossible. But it does mean that sadly it is going to be a longer term project than perhaps I'd initially hoped. And that means I've now got two slow burners. That's what both of these are. The Yugo and the Oltcit, they're slow burners to kind of just have the odd tinker with from time to time when I'm not trying to get other things done. The problem is, as you've probably seen in other videos, the rest of the fleet, I'm not exactly short of jobs to do. And perhaps if I spent less time just talking to the camera like this and more time doing work, that could be an improvement. So we'll see how we go. We've got the winter period, there's not much happening. I do need to make some improvements to the building just to try and stop the weather getting in a bit more. But yeah, I've got two slow burners to do. And bear in mind, parts supplies is going to be an issue on both cars. I may well have to go to Serbia or Romania to acquire parts for these cars, or at least have contacts there and get the bits sent over. It's no bad thing that they're slow burners. It is going to take a long time, but this is the truth of restoration. It can and does take a very long time. You might remember the Vauxhall Viva that I featured fairly recently. It belongs to my neighbour Rob, and I think that project was something like 10 years in the making. It's just, you know, doing a little bit here and there and getting the thing done. I struggle a bit with the patience and momentum on those longer projects, but I think we all do. Those who are a bit more methodical may be more minded to just crack on and get through it. But yeah, I like the quick wins. I like to get an engine running and start driving, which is why most of my projects never end up finished, because as soon as it's driving, I'm off. These two are going to be very different. These are going to be more your traditional restoration, where you do have to take your time, and it could take years to get these two into ship-shape condition. The plan isn't to just get them roadworthy in the least possible amount of work. So we'll see how we go with those. Plenty of other projects to keep me busy in the meantime. In fact, they're stacking up here at the unit. There's Foxan, the Matiz, the GSA, Took. Is one of the issues that I now have no room here at all, really. It's all got very tight indeed. But yeah, that's where we are. A new car has been acquired. It's perhaps more of a project than I'd hoped. To be fair, I think more of a project than the previous owner, my friend Chris, thought, because the fire seems to have affected the bonnet hinges. The bonnet hasn't been opened for a very long time, and I really have had to just force my way in because I need to know what sort of a project it is. And yeah, it is quite a big project, but it's here now. It's in the dry, it's under cover, so it shouldn't deteriorate anymore. And yeah, I can gently begin the process of stripping it down and having a look. The Oltcit is a very interesting car, fascinating history. I might try and do a separate video just on the history of the Oltcit at some point. Regardless of whether it works or not, it is mine and it is right there. And that gives me a certain amount of joy. I don't like having museum exhibits that just sit around and don't do anything, but nonetheless, it makes a particularly interesting comparison with the Yugo Sana, I think. So I shall say, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can head to the Hubnut store at hubnut.org and buy all manner of lovely things. Various support options, do check the description below to see what those are. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell.